Sean here. In this video, I'm going to hopefully briefly cover repetitions. What is a repetition and how many repetitions should you do? And how do you know what weight to use? So a repetition is essentially, if I'm doing a biceps curl, for example, that would be one repetition. So all the way up, all the way down. That's one. All the way up, all the way down. That's another one. So generally in a program, so when I give someone a particular amount of repetitions, say 10 repetitions, and if they're self-selecting the weight, essentially the repetitions dictate how much weight you should use. So if I was to give you 10 repetitions, you would pick a weight where you could get 10 repetitions with absolutely perfect technique, but getting 11 would be a struggle. Now, sometimes you may get 10 repetitions and use a lighter weight, so you could easily do 10, and you could maybe even do 20 repetitions, and that could be maybe a warm-up set. So, but generally speaking, the repetitions are going to dictate the load you use. So if I give you 4 repetitions, you're going to pick a weight where you can get 4 repetitions with perfect technique. I'm always going to emphasize perfect technique here. But to get a 5th repetition would be tough. You might squeeze out a 5th repetition. So generally speaking, pick a weight where you can get the number of reps with perfect technique, and you may be able to do one more rep, but no more than that, okay? So for example, I'm gonna do some biceps curls here, and I'm gonna show you what this looks like. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, always slow and controlled with your exercises, 5, 6, I'm going to go for 10, 7, 8, 9, see my technique hasn't changed, 10, now I'll try 11, so I can do 11, 12 would probably be a struggle. So I just squeezed out 12, but that would probably be a good weight for 10. So you should be working and trying hard for sure. It shouldn't just be a walk in the park, if that makes sense. So you shouldn't just have a pick a weight where you could do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 100, no problem. By the time you get to the 8th, 9th, and especially that 10th rep, you should just barely be able to lift the weight up, or your body weight if you're doing a row, or a push-up, or a squat. So generally, that's how the repetitions work. You should essentially be training to failure, which means you should not be able to do another repetitions. Okay, so now what happens for the second set? You're fatigued from the first set. Maybe you got your 10 repetitions, but the second set you only get maybe 7 repetitions. So what do? Do you stay with the same weight and force yourself to get 10 repetitions? Or do you drop the weight down to so that you can manage 10 repetitions? So there's 2 ways you can do this. 1, on your second set, 3rd set, 4th set, 5th set, if we are trying to stay within the 10 repetition range, you would simply lower the weight for the next set. So for the first set, you might start with 30 pounds, get 10 repetitions. Now you won't know what you're going to get for the second set with that weight unless you try it. So you're going to have to try it at least once. Maybe the second set you get 10 repetitions, great. Maybe the second set you only get 7 repetitions. Okay, so you could stick with that weight and move on to the third set and see what happens, and you might get 5 repetitions. So then you have a pretty good idea, okay, maybe I should lower the weight so that I can be closer to 10 repetitions on all 3 sets. That's completely fine. Or you could stick with the same weight, and as your body adapts, you will get stronger. So your first set, you might get 10. Your second set, you might get 7. Your third set, you might get 5. But in a few weeks from now, your first set, you might get 10. Maybe you could squeeze out 12, but we're going to stick with 10. Your second set, though, instead of getting 7, maybe you get 8 this time. And then on your third set, instead of getting 5, maybe you get 7 this time. So if your repetitions are increasing with the same weight, you know you are getting stronger. Your muscles are growing. Your body is adapting. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So basically there's 2 ways of doing it. One, you can stay with the same weight for all your sets. Or sorry, you could stay with the same weight. Yeah, sorry, you could stay with the same weight for all your sets. So you might get 10 repetitions on the first set with 30 pounds. 7 repetitions on the second set with 30 pounds. Maybe 6 repetitions on the third set with 30 pounds. Or you could start with 30 pounds for the first set. Maybe you get 10 repetitions. And because you've experimented, you know that for the second set, you might only get 7. So then the second set, you're going to go to, say, 27.5 pounds or 25 pounds. And see if you can get 10 reps. If you can, great. Then maybe on the next workout, you bump the weight up. So hopefully this isn't getting too confusing, but you either have, you have 2 options. Keep the weight the same or lower the weight to stay within that repetition range. There's no really right or wrong way of doing it, but those are both good methods. So the only thing I would mention though is if you are consistently getting 10 repetitions on every set with every workout, then it's time to bump the weight up. Okay, so if you're getting 3 sets of 10 with 30 pounds, then bump the weight up to 32.5 pounds. So then your first set you might get 10, or second set you might get 9 because the weight's a little heavier. Third set you might get 8. So ideally for your first set, you always want to be in that target range of the specified number of reps. And on the second and third set, the repetitions can drop a little bit if you're sticking with the same weight. Anyways, I'm starting to go around in circles here, but hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions at all, please let me know, and I'd be happy to clarify. But yeah, thanks for watching, and please share this and like it and pass it along to others that may find it useful. Catch you next time.